Hi, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner.
And our dog, Betty White.
Your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
Could we have named it something more creative? Probably. But it's the name of our blog. It's our last name. We're on an adventure. Yada, yada, yada. After owning our own business, working 24/7.
And don't forget a mental breakdown in between.
We made a lifestyle change and decided to make the most out of life.
We sold our house, most of our belongings, downsized, and moved to the coast.
We live life minimally, but fully.
We live each day as an adventure.
This show will help you learn how to live life more fully, with more intention, by experiencing more, and with less stuff.
We'll talk about our own experiences, interview others who have much to share by creating a spark in our lives.
Some days we'll share real-life ongoings of what we're going through, and others will talk about our favorite flavor of waffle.
Come join our adventure.
It's the Arner Adventures Podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Jerry.
Betty White, our sweet fur baby, is hanging here with us as always, and we're back for episode 68 of the Arner Adventures Podcast.
This episode, wow, we're going to be digging into the topic of Ayurveda, which you have heard us mention a few times before, but we wanted to bring on an expert in Ayurvedic medicine to talk about it.
Well, before we get to our guest, let's get to our review of the week. This review comes from Camilla Usick. Camilla says, such a great show. I love the guests and the commonality that they all share with wanting a more simple life, but also going after your dreams.
Camilla, that was just lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. You're going, not we. You, Camilla. You're going to receive a free personalized yoga workshop from Nirva.
And Nirva is a women-led team of licensed Ayurveda and yoga professionals helping women achieve their health goals through natural and holistic means.
If you'd like to receive a free personalized yoga workshop from Nirva, please leave us a 5-star review or rating for the chance to be our review of the week. We appreciate it.
And if you'd like to know more information about Nirva, head over to nirvahealth.com. That's Nirva health.com, or click the link in the show notes.
Speaking of Nirva, our guest today is the Chief Medical Officer at Nirva.
How convenient.
Oh, very convenient. Should we get to the conversation?
I think we shall.
And here we go.
Our guest is Dr. Naveen Chandran Venkallil. I probably completely destroyed the pronunciation of his name, but he will tell us. We're going to call him Dr. Naveen. Dr. Naveen is an Ayurveda doctor, an international certified osteopath, and the Chief Medical Officer at Nirva Health. You've heard us talk about Nirva, but we're going to get more in depth about what Nirva is and Ayurveda. Nirva is a team of licensed Ayurveda and yoga professionals helping women achieve their health goals through natural and holistic means. Jerry and I have been deeply interested in Ayurvedic medicine for quite some time, so the timing that all of this lined up was just perfect, and we cannot wait to dive deeper into this with Dr. Naveen. Dr. Naveen, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, Shannon and Jerry. I'm so happy to have you. So thankful for having me here.
Yeah, and so we always like to give our audience a mental picture of where you're coming to us from. So tell us, we know there's a big time difference with us. So tell us where you're coming to us from this morning. Well, this morning on our end, but where are you coming to us from?
Yeah, so right now I'm talking from India. So it's a calm evening here. So it's not like, a winter time for us. So
Right.
It's like, it's a temperate place. So calm evening. So I'm talking from Kerala. So which is the southernmost part of India, which is the birthplace of Ayurveda. So I belong to this land of Ayurveda.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into that too. So, all right. Well, let's first talk about your medical background, because we talked a little bit before we got onto the show that when Jerry and I were looking into Ayurveda and the lifestyle, the medical practice of it, and all of that, which you can get into more of that than I can. But one of the things that we were looking for an expert, of someone to talk to about it, is we knew that, okay, if we want to talk to someone as far as having health expertise, we wanted someone who had, practiced the medical part of it. And here in America, we can't find that. I mean, it may exist, but we also, like you just said, wanted to find get to the core of someone who had the, where the birthplace of where it is. And we know that Ayurvedic medicine is more prominent in India, and that you have a medical degree in Ayurvedic medicine. And so can you tell us a little bit more about how you got interested in it? Was it something that you always were, or you would tell us about your medical background in Ayurveda?
All right. So basically, I come from a family where my close, my aunt, she was an Ayurveda practitioner. So from a very young age, I used to see how she has been able to help people around her using the wonderful this treatment system. So that is where I originally got interested in Ayurveda. So then I got my bachelor's degree. So it was, we have an official system of education in India for Ayurveda. So I got graduated in Ayurveda. It's a 5.5 year of theory and practice with clinical internship and all. After that, I got my post graduation also from one of the prestigious institutions in Kerala itself. And later on, I got more interested in holistic health, and that is when I heard about osteopathy, which is a manual therapy, right? So I got my international diploma from European School of Osteopathy in UK. Then I started practicing, and later on I realized that I should be getting more knowledge and expertise in mental health. So there is a specialized psychotherapy in Ayurveda, which is called Smriti meditation. So I got my diploma in Smriti meditation as well. So now I'm an herbalist who practice Ayurveda diet and lifestyle, and I'm a manual therapist and as well as a psychotherapist.
Okay. I like that you brought up the mental health part of it, because during my first consult, the health coach, one of the things that when she was going through the questions, that it was more like it really was like a consult. And for those of you who are in America, you are not accustomed to this. She spent so much time with me, and it was not like she was rushed to get off of the call with me the way we are used to here in the States. I mean, she took so much time with me, but it was not just the physical things that were going on. She was asking me about my mental health and the stressors, and not even in just those words, but I knew by the questioning she was asking me, I was like, oh, she's really concerned about what's going on mentally too, and talking about the whole body health and how it all affects each other. So for those of us who have not been exposed to the lifestyle of Ayurveda, and we know it has a lot of intricate details, much like all medical practices, but can you try to give us a basic scope of what Ayurvedic medicine is, the basic principles of Ayurveda?
All right. So Ayurveda is a traditional healthcare system of originated in the Indian subcontinent around 3,000 years ago. Then it got spreading to, it's got spread to different other parts, Asian subcontinent. Now today we can say Ayurveda has established guidelines of practice in the UK, USA, uh, Australia, Germany, and other parts of Europe, and in Asia, Singapore, Middle East countries, and many other Asian countries which are neighboring to India. So it is a lifestyle medicine which involves mainly diet, lifestyle modifications, and we use herbs for treating different health complaints of people. And also it's a functional medicine which focuses on your functional health of the body. So basically it is based on the principle that your function governs your structure. So when you have a functional problem in your body, that can have impacts in your not just in your physiology of the body, but in the anatomical structures, how your body is being maintained in a healthy state.
There's the 3 doshas when it comes to Ayurveda. Actually, on my next session is when I learn about what mine is. So I'm really excited about it. I guess if you can tell us about the 3 doshas first. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. What are the 3 doshas?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Actually, dosha is the keystone when we talk about functional medicine, right? So these are three functional bioenergies that can influence the functions in your body. So if you take things in a broad level and in a subtle level, there are three major functions happening in a body, which is a stage of growth or nutrition, a stage of maintenance or transformation, and a stage of degeneration or destruction before you die. Right. So in the initial stage, so when a baby is born, he's growing, then he maintains his a stage of maintenance of his health, then start the degeneration stage. So in that three stages, broadly speaking, dosha kapha, in the growth stage, you have the dosha called kapha, which is a functional element that controls your nutrition and growth, nourishment. And there is a second dosha called pitta. This dosha controls transformation in your body, all kinds of transformations, digestion, nutrition, metabolism, all these things. Then finally comes the degenerative parts. When you get older, or every day your body is actually growing and degenerating, right? So the third dosha called vata controls this whole function. So when you take it at a subtle level, in the level of a cell is actually the day it is born, it's getting nourished, it is taking the nutrition from the cells around it, then it is having a lot of chemical reactions taking place, transformation, digestion. Then finally, it becomes separated into two new cells, or more than two new cells per a cell is, getting into its last day. So this process is the same for all the living beings, right? So these three doshas can control this. So when there is an impairment in these functions, imagine you have an overnutrition, an undernutrition, or an abnormal nutrition, the way you eat food. That can trigger problems in the dosha called kapha, that can create a lot of structure. You can gain weight, you can lose weight, like that. Then in the transformation, when you have a problem in the digestion, in the transformation or metabolism, that can cause problems in the second dosha called pitta, that can give you gut health issues, acid reflux, like that. And then finally your destruction. So imagine you have a overutilization of your body in terms of overexertion, that can cause you early degeneration, early aging. In terms of mind and body, if you have a lot of stress and anxiety, that is overutilization of your resources, so that can trigger more vata in your body. So in a broad sense, I can say that when it goes to each and every function, we can separate it into in terms of these three functional bioenergies. And based on these bioenergies, finally, there are three kinds of major body types.
This episode is brought to you by Southern Oak Artisan.
Southern Oak Artisan makes 100% natural soy candles that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but are safe to breathe, since they are made with non-toxic ingredients, and they're not overwhelming like other candles you may be used to.
Between morning brew, lemon bake, lavender, there's just so many scents to choose from.
Southern Oak Artisan 100% natural soy candles are handmade in our home state here in North Carolina, but lucky you, they ship all over the U.S.
Yes, lucky indeed. Head over to arnerventures.com/Southern Oak Artisan, where you can grab our discount code and link to save on your soy candle purchase.
That's arnerventures.com/Southern Oak Artisan. It's also in the show notes.
And now back to the show.
So if you have noticed, some people are more prone to develop weight gain issues, right? They can gain weight even after eating very less calorie food. Some others can develop gut issues very easily by eating certain foods. And finally, some people can develop early aging changes in their body. So all these things are because they are separate body types. So these doshas in different combinations can make you a different person who is unique and different from other living beings around you. Mm-hmm. So that is how they work. So different body types, and that is the keystone of Ayurveda.
Does your dosha ever change?
Your doshas can change, but your body types never. So when you're born, you are, as I said, you are a unique individual. So you may have some certain characteristics that is completely different from other people. So you can't change it, that because that is your genome. But your genome is not something permanent. You can even, today the concept of epigenetics has come, right? Even though you are having a particular gene, how your gene is expressed, how they produce, how they form proteins in your body is based on how you live. So even a group of identical genes can become a sports person, and other person can end up having an obese, obese body. So based on how they live, so your genes can even get influenced. In that level, you can have influence in your prakriti, but you can really change the prakriti fully. So if there is something in your destiny, definitely that will come to your health. But you can control the imbalances in this dosha. So these doshas can get challenged every day. The way you eat, the way you live, the amount of stress you face, all are challenges, right? Even the air you breathe is a challenge for you.
Mm.
So that can influence the level of doshas in your body, this functional bioenergies. And when you balance these bioenergies, you stay healthy. When you don't do that, you become ill.
If you live in a household where someone has two body types, can you do that? I mean, is that still beneficial?
Not 100% to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but healthy eating is not just about, imagine you have two health conditions. So your diet is based on not just your body type, it's based on five factors. One is your body type, the other one is your health condition, third one is your age, fourth one is the season, and your fifth one is your gut type. So based on that only, you can curate a plan, a diet which is 1% suitable for you. But even if you consider the basic things which are common to a person, that will apply to every people. So healthy is eating. There are certain basic rules that you can follow in a healthy eating. That definitely will help you stay healthy, not having diseases. But if you have a particular disease, the situation is different. First, you have to consider the disease. But after, when you are symptom free, you can really, say for example, other condition like season. If you are almost all the same age, so when you are living with your, you know of course your partner, probably they will be coming in a, not much different, right, age group. So definitely a lot of things will be common for you. Based on that, you can select some foods which are common to you, but some others will come different for sure.
I figured, yeah, initially I could just do what she's doing, and then then once I figure out more about me, I can tailor it more to me. So that I like your answer there, and I think we can make things work. But it seems like any of this would be good, better than maybe our Western diet as
Oh,
we know it
totally.
now.
Totally. It's going to be better no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're at a good start here, I think, with her finding out her
Yeah.
body type and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But let me tell you one more point there. Our diet is not just about adopting some, getting away from your traditional diet or Western or Eastern, whatever, and getting into some kind of new diet. It's more about what works for you for your complaints or what you've been eating. There are
Mm-hmm.
healthy elements in the food that you eat. Say, for example, the way we use spices. So, in a temperate climate like in India, you have to use more spices, otherwise, your food will become easily rancid. But in a Western climate, in a Western weather, you don't have to add that much spices. So, these are the different basic differences are there. So it's always good to follow a diet which is suitable for your place where you're living and the weather you're living in. So that's what I said. When the seasons are changing, your diet should also change. So
That is
those factors
so
will apply.
interesting.
That is, yeah. And we like spices. So
We-
yeah.
You know, okay, digging into Nirva more, and I'm glad you brought that up because Nirva is definitely not a diet plan. It's not, because when I talk about the app and all of that, I don't want someone thinking, oh, it's like, some fad and you just, download this app and you're going to lose weight and all that. It really is a lifestyle, and Ayurveda is a lifestyle. And I wanted to bring that up, which you talked about the seasons, because when in my initial consult, we were talking about what I eat on a daily basis. And I said, because I have talked about this a lot on the podcast and in our blog, is that I have a lot of gut health issues. And so this was tailored for me. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And so I was telling her, yeah, I eat a salad every day for lunch. And I'm just careful about some of the things I put into it because I'm just really nervous. And she said, you eat a salad every day, all year round? And I was like, yeah. She said, well, we're going to dig more into this, but you need to be thinking about in the colder months, you might not want to be eating a salad because think about it. It's a cold it's a cold meal, and you might want to eat something that's warm for your body, and then vice versa. In the summer, you might not think about eating something warm, soup. And so when you're talking about weather, that immediately went in my head. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, it's sort of
Exactly. Yeah.
similar to eating what's in your garden, like eating produce and the things that grow in your garden during certain times of year.
Yeah, and I don't think in
Yeah.
Western culture those things have ever been thought through too much. I mean, we might have soup on a rainy day, but it's not really all that thought out. You just kind of eat what you eat, right?
Yeah.
I
And we
think.
get in these ruts and routines. And so,
Yeah. Well, we sort of eat the same thing. We never think about the when and where of it. Just
but the mindfulness
But
practice
there are
goes
some
into
basic
some of that.
more than these things. There are some basic uh, pitfalls that I could notice in Western diet, which is if you count the amount of fiber that you eat, and even if you eat the fiber, the way you eat the fiber. It's not about what you eat. It's more about how your body can absorb things that you eat, right? If your body can't really utilize the things that you're eating, you end up having more and more, you're giving more and more pressure and overwork to your body. So that is where we can pitch in certain subtle changes that can improve that part of absorption.
Yeah.
So
what I find
whether you have to
interesting.
eat a salad to get the fiber, or whether you can cook it, and would
Right.
that be
Yeah,
the better
yeah.
way for you at this point of time, at this time of weather, at this season of the year? That's the point. It's not
That's
just about the
exactly
fiber.
what she said too. She said, we could think about ways to cook your salad or cook the things that are in your salad. Yeah.
I was thinking too. What I like to going back to the spices is, I think here like there's too much salt in our foods, and we know that can be bad for us. So I like the idea of the spices to bring out the flavor as opposed to the salt. Because even if you don't use salt, a lot of our foods have a lot of salt added to them, the processed ones too. I don't know if you covered that in your.
Yeah. Well, and also, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because I saw a sample of how the app and the meal plan, because I'm not that far into it yet, which everyone stay tuned because you're going to hear about that later. But the meal plans are not processed foods. It's more of natural foods, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole foods. Yeah.
So processing is something that makes, so in industrialization, definitely you have to feed a lot of people. So processed food are something that helps to bring all the everything to your table, but at the same time you are compromising quantity for quality. I mean, sorry, quality for quantity.
Quality for quantity.
Yeah.
When your focus is more on the quantity, so that's why even with the food that you eat, you end up having more deficiencies. And each time you process a food, you will lose more and more nutrition. I hope you agree, right? So that's why whenever you process a food, actually you are losing many of the nutrients. And we are not saying you have to completely avoid processed food. Sometimes it's not impossible. It's not possible in today's lifestyle. But definitely you can include more whole food, right? You can replace at least one meal with some whole food, right? That used to create a lot of changes. Even in people who think that I have a gut health issue, which is a chronic one, now I can't really get out of it because I'm born like this, and I'm supposed to live like this. But when we make such subtle changes, even that used to create a lot of differences.
This episode is brought to you by Danadan.
If you're a longtime listener, you've probably heard us tell you before that about 2 to 3 CBD brands reach out to us every week. It wasn't until we started digging into the research that we learned CBD isn't always CBD, and they're not all the same.
Danadan Hempworks makes organic hemp flower infusions. Danadan's products support our daily routine by helping to manage daily stress, promote healthy sleep, provide caffeine-free energy, and recover from activity-related stiffness and soreness.
They also have CBD hemp flower infusion specifically designed for pets, which is great for Betty White. She uses it every day.
Head over to arnerventures.com/Danadan-Hempworks to grab our amazing discount code and link.
That's arnerventures.com/Danadan- or -hempworks. It's also in the show notes.
Now, back to the show.
So let's talk about Nirva more in depth. What I love is that it's so tailored to me. And Jerry, you can vouch for this. The other day I got on one of my calls, it's a virtual call, and there were 3 people on there, the health coach I have, a yoga professional, and the medical professional who was getting ready to prepare my recipe, the meal plan. And I was like, wait a minute, they're all 3 on here for me? And we spent like an hour together, which again, we in Western culture are not accustomed to that because our medical professionals are in a hurry to get out and get to the next patient. So I could not believe it. And when we were done, I said, so wait a minute, they're going to develop a meal plan and a yoga plan for me? Like, it's not just like something they do for everybody. And Amala was like, no, it's for you. Like, everyone is different. So I love how the process is so tailored. So how did Nirva get started and how did it get developed?
So Nirva is a team of health enthusiasts who are especially interested in holistic health. So we have 4 team members, I would call, as you just said. We have an Ayurveda consultant, a yoga consultant, a yoga practitioner, and we have a health coach. And on top of that, we have a health app, Nirva app, which is a silent team member, but most efficient, I would say.
Right.
And so what we do is, how all these things started is, exactly speaking, during the time of COVID. Just before that, we actually started it free of cost, to be honest with you, because during the time of COVID, a lot of people were struggling in terms of not just physical health but mental health problems also. So we started delivering free services to different parts of the, different groups of people who have been suffering. But what we realized, even when I used to practice, I've been practicing more than 13 years now in different parts of Europe, Germany, Middle East, and UK, USA. So what I have met, I used to have online and offline consultations with people who have been looking for experts and real people who are qualified. So that's where we decided to bring together, the time-tested traditional knowledge along with technology, so that you can deliver things, in a more smarter way. So that is what Nirva is all about. We use state-of-the-art technology. We have the best people for that. We combine all experts. So all our yoga consultants are having more than 10,000 hours of experience and practice. All our consultants are having either bachelor's degree, not bachelor's degree. All our consultants are having post graduations, master's degree in therapeutic yoga and Ayurveda, and all our health coaches are having bachelor's degree in Ayurveda. So they all can. So we bring together all these experts from different parts of the globe, and we deliver services at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So that's our motto. So that's what we do.
Especially when you look at the price compared to what the price would be later if you don't take care of your health, which that's a whole other thing. And I could get on into this forever, to thinking about not throwing medications at symptoms and taking care of it without the pills and all of that, which I know Nirva really believes in. But I'm glad that you brought up the yoga, because I am curious about this. And I know that since you brought it up, that our listeners are going to be curious. Why is yoga such an important piece of this?
If you consider mind, so mind is one of the major elements of Ayurvedic care. So it's about body, mind, and your spirit. So we combine these 3 elements. And if you take mind is having a lot of deep influence. So just considering the emotion stress, right? Ayurveda says that there is no system in your body which is left untouched by stress. So literally, if you consider, and the way the body reacts to stress is also very different. As we just discussed about the body types, right? If you take the Vata body type, they have a stress, they will have more anxiety. If you take a Pitta body type, they have a stress, they will be more aggressive. If you take a Kapha body type, they have an anxiety, they will be more depressed. So when the Vata person feels sleepless, he don't have an appetite. She has more bloating, constipation. Pitta will have more acid reflux. They will become more aggressive. They will shout at people. Kapha person will sleep more. He will feel like sleeping all the time, and he'll not have, even though he'll not have much appetite, but still he will start gaining weight, or he may end up overeating. So this is how mind is influential in different people. And even you take a single, gut health problems, uh, the mind, for a gut person having a gut health problem, he will have physical symptoms, first of all, bloating, constipation, whatever. Then he would have mental symptoms. Like, these people used to be mostly suffering from anxiety most of the time. And even the senses, sensory problems they used to have, having some cravings for certain foods, or feeling aversion towards certain other kinds of foods, overeating habits, or emotional eating habits. All these things are problems of senses also. So if you take any health issue, you can find physical, mental, and sensory level of issues these people are facing. And there is no other, better way than yoga to deal with these issues together: mind, body, and senses together. And yoga is a sister science of sister science of Ayurveda, which, both of us share the same philosophy, and these both sciences originated from basic philosophies, and they are contemporary uh, strategies of healthcare. So that's why we combine both together.
I find yoga so interesting, and it's funny. I think in this culture, it's looked at. I think men are starting to get more into it, but that's only in very recent, periods. And yoga's been around here forever. I think like hippie culture brought it in the '60s, but it took it decades to kind of, really get
Yeah.
mainstream. But I could just sense it was an important thing for everything you were saying, the mind, body, spirit balance, and all that stuff. But I think in our culture, we've always sort of leaned towards just physical exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all
And
changing, thankfully, in the last 10 years, maybe. But it had been
yeah,
for a long time, just very emphasis on physical stuff.
but I must tell you this, we are actually losing the real yoga. Maybe you might seem this an irony, but that's the truth. We actually, the real yoga is stepping aside for more kind of practices which are more, physical. So yoga is not just about physical; it's more about mind. And yoga, the word meaning itself means combining your, mind to your body. So for that, you don't have to be more focused on the physical wellness. So, not, physical fitness. So, or people used to think that if I want to practice yoga, I should be flexible, I should be physically very, kind of efficient, and my cardiac or my muscle strength should be very high, or I should have a very cardiac health. You don't have to have that. That's why we introduced therapeutic yoga. So therapeutic yoga uses the therapy side of the yoga, but we give only mild practices for a person based on their physical fitness and cardiac fitness.
Okay. So if someone is now sort of like, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated. I don't know if I should do this because I've never done yoga before. They should not be intimidated. They can come in at any
Never,
level. Okay.
never. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nirva also specializes in with women's health is menopausal health. So
Mhm.
if someone right now is saying, oh, I feel like I might be going through menopause and um, maybe I'm having some of the quote unquote symptoms or what going through, some of those things, what are sort of, and I don't know if modes of treatment is the question here, or if that is actual the terminology. Is the Ayurvedic lifestyle, is it all the same? Like if someone comes through with gut health issues or someone comes through with menopausal health symptoms, is the treatment the same?
No. So
No.
that's what makes this approach quite individual. So we have to consider for each and every disease there will be some root cause, right? So if it is a gut health issue, you might be having some factors are applicable to some people. Sometimes your acid reflux could be because you are very stressful and anxious. Sometimes the way you eat is not proper. So based on, sometimes your gut type is, is not, it's more prone to develop your problem. So we assess these different factors, and this could be there can be numerable combinations and variables. So you have to actually consider each and every variable. That's why we have to have a team for this. That's why you see 3 consultants at a time, and they
Yeah.
spend a lot of time, because it's not easy to pick these variables in a 5 to 10 minutes of conversation. You need to talk of different aspects. Maybe we will be asking questions not just about you, but about the people around you, how you react
Yeah.
to this, how about your job, how you cope up. So that's why we ask a lot of questions, and that's the point. And when it
Yeah.
comes to different diseases, even for a menopause, all menopause is not the same. So of course, 3 hormones, sex hormones, are causing menopausal symptoms in every woman, but the way your body reacts is different. That's why each woman is going through a unique menopause. Some women are having more hot flashes, some are having weight gain. Unlike the popular belief, people think that okay, after menopause, all women gain weight. No, there are women who actually want to gain weight. Their problem is they are losing weight,
Mm-hmm.
and there are women who have more mental symptoms than physical symptoms. There are women who have a positive approach, attitude towards menopause, having
Yeah.
very negative attitude. So all these things can actually influence the way your menopausal journey is. So that is where you have to pitch in different approaches, and that is what we do in a holistic approach.
This episode is brought to you by Flowdesk. We are big on productivity tools. When someone asks me what top productivity tools I recommend, one of the first is Flowdesk. Flowdesk is an email marketing platform that just makes things so much easier. We used to use MailChimp, but when I started doing a little bit more research, I found that Flowdesk makes email marketing more personal, it's less expensive, it's more aesthetically pleasing, and takes less time to implement. When I work with digital marketing clients, the first thing I recommend is that they make the switch to Flowdesk. There are so many beautiful layouts, workflows, and makes the recipient experience much more pleasant, which is what we all want. If you're looking to make a change to your email marketing platform, I highly recommend Flowdesk. I have a 50% off link for you to use. Head over to arneraventures.com/Flowdesk. Give Flowdesk a try. If you like it, which you're going to, you can save some money on your subscription. It will be linked in the show notes too. It's arneraventures.com/Flowdesk. And now back to the show.
Well, that's interesting. Well, how, as a man, how can I find my body type?
You have to, no matter what your sex is, your health problems, sometimes some health problems will be more common to a particular sex, right? But more than that, your body type, your lifestyle, your level of stress, of course you might be reacting in a different way. More than your sex, your body type determines all these things. As I said, the way your body reacts to the stress is different based on your body type. So whether you become more anxious or aggressive or depressed when you have a stress is based on your body type, and that determines your rest of the things.
So if you only work with women, though, how do you tell the men out there listening to this? How do they how do they go and figure out what their body type is and their dosha? Like how do you, is there a credible source for them to figure that out, or someone for them to go to?
We actually never discourage men who come to our platform. We have
Oh,
some
okay.
gentlemen who who are already following us, and they are taking plans from us. I mean, they follow Nirva diet and healthcare plans.
Okay.
But when it comes to gut health, joint health, anyone can have these problems, right? Of course, menopausal health only
Yes.
for women. But
Okay, I didn't know
other
that. I didn't
problems,
know that. I thought it was only for women. So if men do
no,
want
mostly we
to,
work for women.
yeah,
We work for women. We work for women of 40+ years of age. Most of the health problems, if you
yeah,
see, this comes to this group. But definitely we used to have even say a woman who comes to the platform, they used to bring their kids, their partners. So we have kids. We never discourage, because sometimes your health is not just about you, because
yeah,
most of the time women take responsibility of the whole family,
yeah.
and they want to make all others healthy, not just them. So we can't deny them. So
Got
we used to
it.
have that.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
All
See, I'm
right.
lucky to have her. I'm going to ride on her coattails now. But a lot of men
Of
are
course.
out there
We're
just,
gonna have to get Jer involved too.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I want to talk about the Nirva app. what
Mhm.
I know we talked about, I wanted to make sure that people understood that Nirva is not, a weight loss plan or something like that. The Nirva app, to me, I was introduced to it in a recent session and I have already downloaded it. So I've been playing with it. But what an amazing app. It is very intuitive. It is all encompassing, but not overwhelming. It's very user friendly. Was that intentional to make it very user friendly for folks to be active
Uh,
with it? It holds you accountable too.
Yeah, so Nirva app, like before that, why we wanted to have an app is, uh, like what we realized is when you give healthcare for people having chronic health conditions, you have to have three elements. One is you have to be able to monitor them, because we are doing this online. So we had to actually cut across all those challenges that would come across when in this journey. So we wanted to have an efficient way of monitoring people. Then second is we have had to monitor and support them and encourage them all the time, because chronic health conditions need constant support and encouragement. And third thing is you have to educate them. So sometimes they are completely unaware of the reasons that are causing this problem. So these three elements we had to combine together. So we haven't reached all the we couldn't combine the whole elements. We are developing every day. So we have a state of art technology that we are using. We have a huge team working behind that. But now what we do is we make sure that we help people to monitor themselves using the app. We deliver all our services. I mean, you can get the diet plans, recipes, everything, yoga sessions, recorded videos. And in future we will be adding more and more features to this app that will help to encourage you more. Say for example, we will be introducing in near future a basic course on Ayurveda and yoga. It's not just to learn Ayurveda and yoga, it's to learn how these things are affecting in your body. So when
Yeah.
you're doing something, you want to know, right, why I'm doing this after all. So
Mm.
we will help you learn that as well. So that will make your journey more smoother, and that will give you more confidence, encouragement. So we will be combining these three basic things in this app. So that's the
I
idea
love
behind
that.
it.
I
Oh,
love
I'll be downloading the app right away. This is all a little bit of introduction for me more so than her. She's dove into this a little more, but now I'm like, oh, I need the app. I'm going right to it when we, yeah,
Well, and it
because this is all
also,
very interesting. But I'm gonna need that layout, I'm sure, of the app to kind of catch up.
I notice every time I log in, there's like a little trivia question that will say, it'll ask me a trivia question about Ayurveda. And I'm like, oh, so I do learn something every time I log in, which is really nice.
And if she learns something, I'll learn three things.
You will get more and more info in from the app in near future. So we are adding a lot of every day we are adding a lot of things. We are working a lot hard on that.
I have to tell you that because I love organization. I love structure. And one of the things that I loved is when Amala was showing me how the meal plan is going to work, and I check off and, pick one. But my favorite was the grocery list, when it's going to show me exactly what I need to go and get for the week. Oh my gosh. And then I was telling Jerry, I said, okay, Jerry, what's really great is it's going to just list what we need to get from the store. But when I was comparing the things that it's telling me to purchase, we're going to save money, because it's the whole foods that we're going to buy from the store it's so much more affordable than it is the processed things that we buy, like the frozen stuff that we buy. When we were comparing the price, we were going to save money.
And that helps on a stress level so big,
Yeah.
just on an economic level, knowing what you're going to spend when you go in there. Because the way a lot of people, I think, in our culture do now, you go into the store and everything is in your face. It's advertising. And if you go in there hungry, you might spend $50 more than if you weren't hungry. And this way we got it laid out. We know what we're getting.
Yeah. It's just so great.
First of all, when you start cooking, actually, you can save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Actually, if you say approach things, unlike, again, people used to think I have to put a lot of, I have to, because some women who, when they joined us, they were not aware of basic cooking details. So that is where some women used to say us, some ladies, they say, now I know better how to be a healthy cook and not
Mhm.
spending too much of time. So before they used to think that I'll have to invest a lot of time. Even in the US, US, I would say, is one of the communities that I found spending very less time over cooking.
Yeah.
So just by making small differences in the way they cook, they could improve their health. They could save a lot of money. You know, they could feel much better in terms of their energy levels, their productivity. Yeah, there are a lot of benefits when you cook at least, one meal a day at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should get into your fast five questions.
So I don't have to be nervous, right?
Nope. No.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, no.
No, it's just a preference of which one you prefer, one over the other.
I'll start. Number
All right.
one is sunrise or sunset.
Sunrise.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that was fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, do you prefer lying in a hammock or going for a run?
Going for a run.
Okay.
Ah, me too.
Because these are
Reading
the
a
things
book.
I do every day. Because I'm a morning person, I go for a run every day. I'm a kapha person. If you didn't know, kapha is a body type which likes sunrise and
Uh-huh. I love mornings
likes.
too. I love mornings too, so I can't wait to see what I am. But yeah.
Number three, reading a book or listening to music.
Reading a book
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. No, well, we know number four
We
now.
know number four.
Number four is a night owl or an early riser.
Early riser.
Mm-hmm.
Number five, email or handwritten letter.
Email.
Okay.
Okay.
We have to tell you our number five in America, we usually ask a different question. And I was like, but they probably don't do number five, but let's just ask him really quickly.
Yeah, this is very Americana.
So number five is usually ketchup or mustard. And
Mustard.
what?
He said
Mustard.
Mustard.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And mustard is also very the healthier version of ketchup and mustard. And mustard is probably very different there because you would use the mustard seed or the mustard spice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we are more
Yeah.
used to mustard, and mustard have a lot of health benefits. The way you use it again should be different. I mean,
Yeah.
that also depends because in Indian cuisine we use mustard every day.
Oh, we
okay.
should have asked it.
Yeah, we should. Well, we did.
We did. We asked it.
They probably don't have your
Yeah.
standard yellow mustard over
They
there.
probably don't.
Yellow mustard is good for gastric problems. But again, I'll still add one more point there, but not for
Yeah.
all gut types. Yeah, yellow mustard can cause problems in some people, for that matter. So,
Uh-huh.
but generally, if you take a product, so there is no product which is bad, which is good, like that. We never classify products based on just what they are. It's more based on how they are for your body.
For your body. So you wouldn't say good or bad. Okay.
Exactly.
You would just say it's not for your body type.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a really positive way of looking at it too.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's not tasty, but it's not for your body type.
Okay, and then this is just one follow-up question really quickly. Do you have ketchup?
We have, but it's not part of a cuisine generally. But if you eat some, other Western food or something, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
If an American were to go to India and say, I need ketchup, they could get it.
A lot of heads would turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only for the privacy of your own home, ketchup.
The question that we do ask everyone, and we do feel is an important question, and we would love to ask you is, Dr. Naveen, what does a life well lived mean to you?
All right. That's not a simple question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, a life well lived is where you can influence the world and the people around you. You can have a positive impact in their lives. And I should be able to pursue my personal health along with my personal growth. And I should be able to enjoy each and every moment of joy and happiness that is possible for me. And finally, I should have a purpose in my life. So, and for that purpose, I will live my life. So, I think
Very,
That's it.
very nice.
I love that answer. That is a beautiful answer.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. That is beautiful. Please tell our audience if they're driving and they want to just hear it, where they can find you and where they can get connected with Nirva.
Yeah, very important. Thank you for asking that.
Yes.
So we have a website, nirvahealth.com. You can find details of Nirva, our consultants, details about them. And you can find what people actually say about Nirva. A lot of videos you can find of positive impact that we had in their lives. And we have an Instagram page where you can, which is nirva.health, where you can find a lot of tips and tricks for improving your daily health and well-being, yoga, diet, a lot of tips you will get every day. And we have the Nirva Circle, which is a Facebook community. So where we have women, who are family members of Nirva, they used to, post a lot of positive. So every day we have different themes in this Facebook group. People used to post a lot of positive things that happened in their life after they joining Nirva. So you can find a lot of such informations in these different sources.
Yeah, sharing all of that is very powerful too. And we're going to link all of that down in the show notes. And I want to make sure that I add that there is a booking link that we're going to share where you all can book a free 15-minute consult, which is so helpful. And then you will learn more about how you can move forward with getting started with the program with Nirva. So Dr. Naveen, thank you so much. This was so helpful, and we appreciate your time and there in your evening in India. We're so thankful and just appreciative of you going more in depth about Ayurveda as well as Nirva. Thank you so much for being here.
You made our Saturday morning really nice. We always think it's like having a guest over on a Saturday morning, and this was just as nice a time as any.
I also really enjoyed this time with you because that was really, kind of a rememberable kind of moment for you. So thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed it.
Ayurvedic medicine is so interesting, right? Betty says yes.
Oh, I was just thinking of Ayurvedic medicine, and I didn't realize you were.
And Betty chimed in.
Started.
If you all heard her, she just chimed in. She was like, "Yes."
Both of us were in our own little world thinking about the Ayurvedic medicine.
Yeah.
Wasn't the yoga piece something? And I was surprised about that too.
Yeah, I think. I'm glad that we talked about that because when you think about maybe holistic means or anything about medicine, I guess here in our culture, you don't think about yoga being a piece of it. So it is interesting that that Nirva integrates that so importantly. And I'm glad that he talked about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think everybody could benefit from yoga. So yeah, It was nice to really dive into that, as we say.
Yeah. And it's interesting to learn more about the doshas and our body type and how certain things affect our health and how we're all different.
It really breaks it down in a pretty neat way. Yeah, well, I think I just said it. It breaks it down into some more categories than you would typically think of.
Well, we are very thankful that Dr. Naveen took the time to chat with us.
If this episode resonated with you, or if you know of someone who would benefit from anything we talked about today, or any episode, our guests, or anything, please share it with a friend. It's a great way of supporting the podcast and us, and we really appreciate it.
Another way of supporting the pod is by leaving us a 5-star review rating on the platform you're listening to us on. Oh, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button because that also supports us. We would love that.
You can always find us, links we refer to during the show, and any of the podcast sponsors at arneradventures.com or linked here in these show notes. And until next time, enjoy that journey you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Adios.
Arrivederci.
Au revoir.
Adios.
Sayonara.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Dos vidaniana.